It's on. All right.
Are we on?
We're definitely on right now.
Food runners!
Hey, you freaking bastards. Like, the food's not going to magically freaking carry itself from the window. You know, so they're bitching.
Refire.
Yeah, you're all bitching about tips and everything. Try running out the food hot. See if that works.
No, we like it cold and 2 cents.
I wish I knew whose joke it was so I can give him credit for it, but it was, I guess the way he did it, where he was like, this asshole comes into the restaurant 3 hours before we close asking for service. What a dick, you know? Which, if that was your joke, man, feel free to let me know on Twitter, and I'll be like, yeah, that was your joke. We're not making money off of this. So we're doing this for the love of the food business. For, I don't know about love. I think it's...
love-hate.
Yeah, love-hate, basically.
Love-hate. So we're back. It's a new week.
Yes.
Last week, job-wise, been kind of rough.
Last week I was employed. That was interesting. I was thinking about how do I tweet this. I'm like, hey, who's got 2 thumbs that doesn't have a job anywhere?
He's not that good because I'm still employed.
Yeah. If you would have done a better job, you would have gotten canned like I did. No, actually, what happened was the restaurant that I was working for, it closed down. They shut their doors, and there's a whole bunch of reasons we could talk about that, but I don't. First of all, the people who own that place, they're not here to defend themselves.
They are not here to defend themselves.
And nor do I think they probably would.
Well, they would try.
No, they would.
I think they would try.
Yeah, and honestly,
but it's like a 2-year-old fighting an adult. Pretty much.
We're like, we tried that. We did that. Well, how come this didn't work? Well, we tried that. That's basically it's.
So I'm gonna beat him up a little bit.
Okay.
You've been in this business your whole life. 15, 20 years running the same type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't want to change. Everybody's gotten old enough and they want a 9 to 5 and out the door.
Mm-hmm.
You down in sales. You go out. You figure out why you're down in sales. No callbacks. No nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just don't go out no more. You're not doing anything to create the sales.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So for employees, for owners, for whatever else, and it doesn't even have to be the food industry. If you're not learning and growing, then why are you doing it? Period. I don't care if you're 80 years old. You can learn something new. There's a sexual position that you don't know, never tried, whatever.
Yeah, try sticking with a missionary for your whole life and see your wife doesn't start cheating the shit out of you. Like, it's not going to work.
But, I mean, it's the same thing in, computer industry. If you're not learning what's new coming out and you're not changing with the times, you're going to die with the times.
Yeah.
Restaurants are the same thing. A lot of people are like, oh, well, you're a manager for them, whatever else, that falls on you. Look. It doesn't. We all have bosses. We all have to do what our bosses tell us. And whether a service side or a location or whatever the case may be, you have to do what you're told. Otherwise, you're not going to be employed.
Yeah.
Unless you're running your own thing, which, works out. But, ultimately, when you're a line level employee or manager or whatever else, you have people above you. You're not titled owner. And look, if you own something, you have 15 years into something, blood, sweat, tears. You have other employees that have been right there beside you the whole fucking time. Have a little respect for yourself, your employees, your coworkers, and do what's needed to be done. Not just sitting at a desk chilling. Oh, I'm down 50% in my sales. I'm not going to do dick. They're just going to come in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not how this business works. It's not how any business works.
I think anybody's working in the service industry is ever at one point or the other, or maybe you've been this person at some point. Not you. I know you haven't. I've came dangerously close many times to doing this. But you try to manage from the office, and so I get it sometimes. Like if you don't want to be don't want to be around people, don't want to be on the hustle and bustle. There's always something to do. There's always invoices or some shit that you could be doing in the office, but you can't manage from back in the office. No matter, I don't care how many cameras you have. You have to be out there on the front. You have to listen. You got to feel. You got to see what's going on. Right. That same thing applies to owners. You can't own a company from your office and not go into your units on a continual basis. You know, like your employees, even your managers, should never know when you're going to be coming in.
Yeah,
It should always be kind of a
absolutely.
surprise. It's like, oh wow, it's a Wednesday lunch. Why is so and so here? Oh, because I want to see how things are going. I'm just checking. You know, do you guys need help? What do you need?
Well,
What's
and
going on?
know, it's funny because throughout the late 80s, early 90s, it became apparent that majority of the managers, corporate locations as well, would sit on their ass and not manage.
Right.
You know?
Because
And-
it seemed like it was the people who got promoted up into that, all right, who
Right.
sometimes, there are some companies, I hate to say it, man, you fail upwards, all right?
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
And when that happens, like, if somebody wasn't the hardest working server or the smartest working, you know, or all of those things, and then like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to wait tables anymore. I could sit back here and still make a lot of money,
Yeah.
you know? Or in some cases, especially back in the 80s or 90s, I could do a lot of cocaine and bang a bunch of hostesses all here from the office. Like, there was just a lot of shady shit that goes on, and as a result, we're still kind of dealing with a lot of the leftover aftermath. I've seen some restaurants, like Peter Piper Pizza was really interesting about this, with some of the units. The one, I don't know if it's still open, but it was on Ray Road near the freeway. But if you ever take a look, like the office is right next to the kitchen. The office of the old restaurant was similar, where the desk is up really, really high. It's up like past your nipples,
Yeah,
basically.
and there's not a seat in that.
Yeah,
motherfucker.
if there was a seat, it is going to be so uncomfortable that you don't want to be in it, and that office is extra, extra small.
Yeah.
Which I think it's kind of counterproductive. That's basically, why don't you just have a picture of the boss cracking a whip at you, you know, because I don't know, I didn't think that was...
I mean, twofold, but same token as a restaurant manager, if you're doing, 14, 16 hours and you go in the office and you sit down and, dude, it's like you could sit on a fucking milk crate and it feels like a lazy boy after that many hours of running around.
Right.
So, I mean, sometimes you don't want to sit down either because when you do, you're done. Your body's going, what the fuck did you do to me?
Yeah, right.
You know?
Why are we doing this? What did we want to be when we were younger?
And it
Are we
takes you
still-
30 minutes just to get the fuck up.
Yeah. Somebody's like, I need a void. I'm like, here, you just throw the card out of the...
Do it, I can't move.
throw it out of the office and slam the door. Like, I guess we shouldn't bother him right now.
But I mean, if owners, even employees, if you care about your business, certain foods, presentation, stuff like that, and nobody's going to care about your business. Well, very few care about your business as much as you do.
Right.
When stores close, hey, things happen. Sometimes it's location, sometimes the way you open. If you're a little boy out there, you got 1-2 locations, you go and open another one. Take a model from some of the corporate places, because unfortunately, as much as they're a pain in the ass and they suck, and I'm a huge against them, they still have the right way of doing things to a fold, not for all, but when you open, you have a ton of fucking employees, you have a ton of managers, because you're going to be rolling through it.
Yeah, the rules of attrition. If you need a staff of 10, you hire 15, because the first day, even on the first day of training, 2 people are going to show up late. Those ones you're probably going to get rid of.
5 are going to walk out.
Yep, 5 are going to walk out. I'm not going to make the money here.
Yeah.
Then you're going to find out the ones that are left, some of them are total alcoholics. You realize they've been drunk the entire
addicts,
time.
Yeah.
Yep, somebody is like, hey, where'd all of our spoons go? Oh, somebody's tweaking. Okay, what's else going on here? Oh, the other dude, he's been sexually harassing the other 2 girls. So we
Right.
got to get done. We got to get rid of him. And, okay, shit, we've got 4 people. Damn it.
Well, and the lifelong meaning for restaurants is, 5 years is when you make it, when you've made it. All right. If you open wrong, you're done in 1 to 2
Yeah.
to 3. And even in those 5 years, I've seen restaurants go out because they get relaxed, whatever else. But let's face it, man, if you got a product and quality and you go, oh, I hired a GM or a kitchen manager to make sure the quality's good, service is right, man, those guys are fucking hourly. They don't give a shit. Even some chefs, don't give a fuck. They're just there for the paycheck.
Right.
Oh, I can go get another job. But, I mean, that's not, they're, majority of the time with the chef, they actually care about the product, the food, plate presentation, shit like that. GMs don't give a fuck. They're all about the numbers for the most part. Not always, but for the most part. Employees don't care either. They're like, fuck, I got a job. What do I care?
Right.
You know? But, I mean, if you're not checking that stuff, nobody's going to run it like you would. And if you're too fucking old to get your ass up and do it, then get out.
Yeah, it's a really. I was talking about this with the dog. He likes to fuck his bed. So by the way,
Stu.
Yeah, I don't know. He's fixed and everything, but he has this really soft like bed that he'll flip over, and he tries to work.
And he's just working it.
Yeah, exactly.
Work it, Stu.
What's funny is that he'll drag this out here when we have company over, just so that way he's like, "Look what I could do." You're like, "Yeah,
hey,
great."
That's impressive at your age."
Yeah,
buddy.
exactly.
But I mean, you know, and you know, you have employees that have been with you for so long, and you know, I don't know, man. I'm starting to think, you know, throughout this time, humanity is just dying.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a guy that worked with this company for 15 plus years, and they let him go with a phone call. They didn't even sit him down face to face. Hey, man, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going. You know, man, that's just wrong. This guy...
Well, at the end of a shift, hey, do us a favor, leave your keys there? Or
no, they just called him. He was supposed to work like the next day. Or, he had 2 days off. They called him on his day off. Hey, man, we're going to have to let you go. Why not call and be like, hey, man, we need to talk. Why don't you come in, sit you down.
Exactly.
You know,
man, God, that fucking sucks.
This guy put blood, sweat, and tears for your business, enjoyed it, thought he had loyalty, thought he had job security, whatever else, and you let him go with the phone call? You know, I mean, have the common decency and courtesy, be like, let me sit you down. Let me talk to you, I don't know, mano a mano, man to man, although some feminist is going to beat me up for that. You know, and you know, I mean, don't get me wrong, when places are closing, you know, managers are normally tight-lipped so everybody doesn't jump ship and then you're screwed the last couple days. Let your right-hand people know what's going on so when the shit hits the fan, they can help. Yeah. You know, or give them the common courtesy because they've been in the trenches right there with you, you know? I'm
really hoping at least that he got some type of severance. I doubt it. I mean, they're like, oh, no.
I don't think so.
See, this is... man.
I mean, week's paycheck, I think, and his vacation time. That was it.
Right. And by the way, I think they closed the restaurant 1 week before I started working there. So...
You didn't get vacation.
Well, if I do, it'll come in the mail, like, in you know, the next week or two, but I doubt it.
Doubt it. Yeah.
I doubt it. But it's one of those things where... Let's put it this way. There's a lot that I'm holding back on my thoughts and opinions on this. There's a reason why I'm not mentioning the business's name and all that other stuff. But I can tell you this much. If I don't see that paycheck, that vacation time, those 3 days or whatever, inside of my mailbox on Saturday, I'm going to go into detail about everything that's fucked about this thing. I don't know. I'm just saying, cause and effect, okay?
Yeah. Yeah,
you try to fuck me out of a couple hundred. There's a reason why I talk shit about Macaroni Grill, because there's about $5,000 that I was supposed to make as a corporate trainer for those dickheads. So, and then they decided to train people with a YouTube video. But I think all the people that made those decisions don't work there anymore.
Well, I mean, the company filed bankruptcy. They're closing stores right and left.
They're out of it now, but they're hoping that they're down to 83 stores.
So somebody came in and bought them.
Right, and I think they restructured they got a new CEO. I'm curious to see who it is.
I don't think it matters.
Well, most of the ideas, the crappy ideas and the way that things were implemented I know it was from one of the VPs as well as the CEO. It's kind of like they just kept trying to pound a square peg in a round hole for years and years and years and years until nobody really caught on. They're like, hey, out of curiosity, we've noticed the downward trend, and we noticed that's about started around the time you guys came in with the company, and it's still going down.
Well, and that's the thing. It doesn't matter if you're a big boy or a small boy. If you see a downward trend like that and you know where it's going, wouldn't you do something to
You can get angry, I guess. You can buy yourself a new scarf.
No, but I mean, even as a CEO, implement some new things that are actually going to turn it up, things that'll work. You know, community programs or whatever else.
I think what's lacking
instead of changing the menu for a shit item that nobody fucking wants or buys.
Exactly. Like I thought, like
I wonder now. Now I want to know who the CEO is.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I wonder if it's like operations guy from Darden or something.
Let's take a look. Let's go to the back Google.
We're gonna look it up because I don't know about you guys or if any of you know this, but you know there are bigger companies out there like Darden. That own
all of it,
120 brands.
Yeah,
and you don't realize it because the CEO or the accounts executive or whatever else, they're kind of floating them this money to take this, and eventually, it's kind of like a hostile takeover, and then bigger business, whatever else.
Yeah, totally.
So. The vice president will be like, "Oh yeah, I'm leaving these guys. I bought shares in this, and then all of a sudden I'm on the board over here, and then hey, here comes this big company, swoop them out, save them, after they put them out of business, so they get everything cheaper, and then open up newer stores or get another brand for a tax write-off, whatever else."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then who was it? I think the CEO of Taco Bell recently moved over to Chipotle. Yeah, I'm not eating Chipotle no more.
I got applications out for those fuckers, man. Come on, take it easy.
Taco Bell's beef isn't even beef.
It's beefy. That's what they didn't.
It's a vegan protein in like brown spicy gravy.
Oh, let's see. Okay, Romano, this is coming from Houston Business Journal. Industry news. All right. Romano's Macaroni Grill emerges from bankruptcy. Okay, Romano's Macaroni Grill officials said last week that their company has emerged from Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Romano's filed back in October in an effort to try to get out from under the leases on closed restaurants. The company moved its headquarters from Houston to Denver in 2016. And in February 22nd press release, it said it's successfully negotiated lease terms, vendor contracts, and secured $13.5 million in new capital to both fund the restructuring efforts and invest directly into the company in the form of human capital and systems. Through the restructuring and turnover process, the company has firmly reestablished itself, and the results have been tremendous. CEO Nishant Machado said in a press release. That's a new CEO that was before there. I think that is. Romano has officially blamed past ownership for its decision to file for... Ooh, okay, hold on, it's getting juicy here.
Ooh,
all right, guys.
Juice.
Romano's officials blame past ownership for its decision to file for bankruptcy protection. Macaroni Grill decided that this would be the most effective path for it to shed legacy liabilities and obligation as a result of decisions by past ownership. Okay, so that's kind of a vague term. That could either go from for Ignite or Brinker. I think Brinker did a decent job with it, from what I understand from the people that I used to wait on.
Brinker
that work
used to have it? I thought it was Ignite was the last one.
Yeah, Ignite was the last one.
Okay.
So I think there was I don't know if there was a company
I don't know
between.
how many Ignite owns, but I know
they own
Brinker's,
3.
80-something brands?
Yeah.
Maybe 30, 40. I don't know. It's bigger because they have like Chili's.
Well, yeah, they got Chili's, I think, on the board, and a bunch of other places, too. Ignite had Joe's Crab Shack, Macaroni Grill, and Brick House Tavern. And
they did have Joe's Crab Shack.
Yeah.
Because they filed bankruptcy on that, 2 years ago?
Yeah, our old friend blamed all of it on Macaroni Grill. But,
right.
Let's see, Houston's Ignite Restaurant Group bought Macaroni Grill for $55 million in 2013, then sold it for $8 million in 2015. Ignite filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection in June, and then sold its remaining brands, Joe's Crab Shack and Brick House Tavern and Tab, to Houston-based Landry's Incorporated for $57 million last year.
Landry's.
Yeah. So, I would like to...
I didn't realize Insight bought out Landry's.
Or Ignite?
Or Ignite.
No, Landry's bought out Ignite.
I thought it was the other way around.
No.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, because Ignite was in massive trouble because they thought that they were going to make a lot more of macaroni than they did, and they put people in charge where they basically this is a panic move that's happened many times, and a lot of other restaurant owners...
A lot of other businesses.
Oh, yeah, we need to save money. Quick, cut labor, cut labor, cut labor. I'm like, are we going to do anything else? No, I can cut labor from my office. I don't even have to go anywhere.
Right.
I could just, that's easy. All right, problem solved.
I mean,
No, it isn't. Because that's,
Yeah.
that's one of the things. Like, the freaking macaroni girl is trying to run on less than 20, or like 80% labor on a Friday night, which that's when you need to have your host, like a full staff of hosts plus bussers, maybe a food runner, a full kitchen, all that other stuff. You can't do that on 18% labor unless you're making 10 grand that evening,
well,
which
and
they
that's
weren't.
how, you know, the bigger corporations fix the whole manager sitting in a chair, too, because guess what? Now you're cooking, now you're hosting, now you're bartending, now you're serving, and it's like, come on, guys. All you're doing is killing the business.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get the service, you don't get the food quality. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can cook, so when I cook, I mean... But, you know, you run in 5 servers when you should have 12 servers, whatever else. You going from what should be a 4 to 5 table section in a restaurant. Instead, you got 8 to 9 table section in a restaurant.
And you got to hope that people come in at a reasonable pace where you can keep up with it, and then hope that nothing goes wrong.
Yeah, not if you get parties of fucking 12 and 13. And, hey, when did it become customary for people just fucking show up at the door? Hey, I got 18 people. Can you make it happen? Oh, the service is shit.
No.
You think?
Like, no. Like, why? Because I'm just, no.
Call ahead.
I always, you know, I remember, gosh, what was it? There was a manager meeting they had for the assistants at Fuddruckers years ago. We decided to go out for a lunch after, you know, we were done with the whole thing. And like, okay, well, there's an Olive Garden nearby. You guys want to do Olive Garden? I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. So I walk in, and I'm like, hey, we got a party of 12. And, I mean, there was this young girl. She's like, did you guys make a reservation? And part of me was like, hey, you're being kind of rude. But at the same time, like,
Fucker,
No.
I knew better.
no, we did not. I am so sorry. Is
Right.
it possible if we can? And she's like, yeah, I guess. All right. All right. And,
I mean, if you can make it work, sure. But don't expect things to be
yeah.
perfect, you know? And let's face it, we've all been on this earth long enough to know, call ahead.
Right.
Even if it's fucking 20 minutes, give the restaurants time.
Yeah.
I mean, for the employees and stuff, too, and I don't know how many times this happened. Employees like, oh, yeah, I can take an 18 top. You realize you got fucking 6 table section, right?
Exactly.
As a manager, as an owner, how the fuck do you think that 18 top's going to go?
Yeah. It's one of those things where whether a lot of people can handle that many tables. The problem is that are you doing any of it well? Like in the comedy world, they're like, dude, I went up there for a solid 45 minutes. That was awesome. Only 10 of it was good, dickhead. You made everybody sit through for 35 minutes of pure dog shit. All right, and that's kind of it's kind of the same thing where like, just because you can doesn't mean you necessarily should. You know, and I know there's probably a server out there who's going to listen to this and be like, whatever, dude, I'm freaking better than that. You probably are. I'm not the best waiter. Not even close. But I'm like, the older I get, the more adamant I am about letting people know what my limitations are.
Dude,
where it's
when I'm
like,
getting rocked, hey, I'll be the first one to admit I miss steps when I'm in the front of the house. When I'm in the back of the house, you know, you skip, you shy, you press when you shouldn't, but you get it done because you have to follow those steps and ensure that the food's, you know, but in service, hey, guys, here's your food. Oh, you need silverware.
shit. Oh. Hey, guys, how was the food? I say was as past tense because I haven't been here for 15 minutes, and you're clearly done eating now. So, man, I hope that all of it was good. I hope there wasn't any problems.
Right.
And here's the tab. No, I'm not asking if you want dessert. I got to go.
Did you want a refill? Yeah, I'll be right back. 15 minutes later. Yeah, man, it's just, you know, and as an employee, as a server, I think, and this is as a server, and I haven't served, you know, I kind of serve whatever else. If I got more than 6 tables, no matter how good I am, I'm thinking, there goes my tips.
Yeah, same here. at that point, because I know they're not getting. Because my charm is kind of I got to be able to chat with people just a little bit,
right? A little bit, not give them your life story. But
yeah, exactly.
Make that connection, read the table, whatever else. And let's face it, can I run 8 tables? Absolutely. Am I missing stuff? Man, I'm gonna miss something.
Yeah,
we're all human.
I'm not pushing every appetizer. I'll tell you that much right now. Yeah, it's. You would think that, well, because we've been there and we know that, and I think that's one of the things we're trying to get across with a lot of these with these shows and stuff that we've been doing, is we're trying to give a little bit of an idea. If you haven't done front of house, if you haven't, there was this. I don't know. We didn't talk about it on the last one, I don't think. No, because it was between that. On one of our favorite message boards that we like to lurk in on the various internets.
We're trolls sometimes.
Basically, yeah. Well, I try to be funny about it, but I'm also trying to be direct as I can.
Yeah.
There was this. There's one fella, and I can't even remember his name, but he was talking about how it was like he doesn't think that his front of house service is where it should be. He doesn't think they do a bad job, but he knows that there's missed opportunities of things that they could do, which, by the way, sounds like a total corporate manager thing that he's saying. And he's like, my background is management and back of house, which means that he was more management than anything, I think, because normally you would say, I'm a back of house guy. Nobody ever would say, I don't know, I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm a management guy. I'm like, well, what, front or back?
Yeah, no, I think I'm more of a back of the house guy, but
right.
Same token, I'm pretty versatile. I have that front of house as well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know. Most people aren't like, oh, I'm a manager guy.
Yeah.
So what's that mean?
Yeah, exactly. So what was strange about it is like any ideas or any training manuals that I can download, so that way I could use for the front of house staff. Now, what that had said to me was that like, what
you have a position you shouldn't be in.
Yeah, exactly. So I, in a very nice way, I'm like, get yourself an apron and pick up a shift.
Oh, that's right.
And learn how to wait tables. And I go, listen, I've worked for bosses before, and I knew that they were definitely big back of house guys, and they hated talking to people. They hated going out front.
Yeah.
Guess what? I could have done, and sometimes I did, whatever the hell I wanted, because I knew that I could do something that they did not want to do. Not that they couldn't do, that they didn't want to do. And usually the reason why somebody doesn't want to do something is because they're afraid of fucking up at it. I speak from
just afraid.
Yeah, it could be that too. I also put in the comment, I'm like, listen, when I first started managing, especially like with Fuddruckers, that kitchen staff didn't listen to anything that I said, and I tried pulling rank on them. Sometimes I was an asshole to them, and it wasn't good. And I learned from it. One of the things that I learned is that I had to go back there and learn how to run the grill, how to run all these different pieces and stuff there, so that way they knew that I could do the same work that they could. And that's how I was able to get respect and actually institute changes. Obviously I did it kind of sneaky like.
Well,
but
and the only problem with jumping on tables in the aspects that you're talking about is table service has to be taught.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, because let's face it, we've all seen it. You get different calibers of people, whether it's in the back of the house, front of the house. I'm going to use front of the house for this instance. But there's a huge difference from the IHOP server to the macaroni grill server.
Right. And that's a big difference between like the Shanahan Steakhouse server versus what I did. Those guys those are like super, super professional.
But my thing is, if I got 20, 30 years of serving, should I care or have enough pride in myself and what I do to learn what the top is and know the spectrum of it? Or am I just going to focus mainly on being that Waffle House server? Hey, honey, what do you want? Coffee?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think people, as a human nature, is they want to go with what they're comfortable with. It's kind of like, take it from a hunter-gatherer aspect. Let's say you got two hunters. Both of them, they're good with a bow and arrow. They could both take down a deer, right? The one hunter goes to where he knows there's always going to be deer at. The other guy's like, oh, okay, I know there's deer here, but I also want, he's going to travel farther. He's going to go to different places to try to find the bigger game.
Sure.
So that way, now at some point, weather changes, global warming, whatever you want to talk about. Now deer no longer go to that one spot. That other guy is fucked. But the other guy has been learning how to do, is putting himself in uncomfortable situations. Yeah. He is more likely to be able to be successful. That's, and I'm thinking, and I fall into this when it comes to serving, is that, well, I know I'm good at this. I really don't have a desire. Well, it's not so much to learn what the top tier guys do. I just don't want to deal with the people that the top tier guys do.
Sure.
You know, definitely. And so it's one of those things where I had a hard time. There was a couple times I almost lost it on some people over at my last job. And I'm like, this isn't good. I got to start finding an exit strategy.
Well, and what I mean by that is not necessarily dealing with those people, but okay, what's a good example here? So, as a server, whether you're a Waffle House, steakhouse, fine dining, whatever, should you know the proper setup of a table?
Right.
Should you know the proper service of a table? Should you know where the dessert spoon goes,
right,
or the water, wine, whatever else? Should you know those things, you know, and try to show professionalism in a different setting? Now, I mean, if you're at a diner or Waffle House, there's, you know, it's slopped on the plate, it's thrown in there. You want to get them fed and get them out. I get it, but you know where we're at last time, Macaroni Grill. You know, what ways should I serve the food? Should I do it clockwise? Do I do it from mom or grandmom or dad, or you know what I mean? Is there position 1, 2, 3? Should you learn the finer points of it, even though you don't use it? I mean, if you've been a server for 40 years, you know, you would think going out to eat, if somebody were to do that, you would actually respect that a little bit,
right?
To have the pride to know your craft. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, in the reason why I didn't use back of the house, because let's face it, there's so much food, there's so much technique out there, there's so many different things. You know, and I don't care if you're Wolfgang frickin' Puck. You're always learning. You're gonna see something new. You know, there's so many different types of food, and you know, nowadays chefs are like, what's the guy in Chicago? I can't even think of his name. Does the Hispanic food, you know, and all these guys spend 30, 40, 50, 60 years in a craft of one food, which makes them a master at that. Now, would I necessarily turn around and go, you know, to a guy that does French cuisine and go, hey man, make me a stir fry?
Yeah.
It'd probably be the shittiest thing I've ever eaten.
More likely. Well, you know, it's so strange. I know, like, have yet to see that documentary, The Hero Dreams of Sushi?
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Yeah.
What's that on?
It's out there on the nets.
It's out there.
But it's just weird where they're like, you know, I'm going to dedicate my life. And I know that's like a very Japanese thing where like...
Sushi's very...
Yeah, which I couldn't tell the difference between a good or a bad cut. So I wouldn't know. Like, I'll be like, oh, it's good, $20. You know, and... but I can kind of get that because there's been an art that's been around there for a long time. And this is kind of off the subject, but when I hear things like gourmet Mexican food... the eyebrow just goes up. I'm like, huh? Like,
yeah.
What?
Okay.
And the reason why, just because I say this, I know I don't look like it, but I'm Mexican on my mother's side, so I grew up eating Mexican food. So my idea, and I probably have a bad idea about this, but Mexican food to me is you take whatever's in the refrigerator, wrap it up in a burrito, then shut the fuck up and eat it. All right? That's basically what I always thought Mexican cuisine was. Like, if I was going to do a family restaurant, a Mexican family restaurant, first of all, I would have this old guy as the host, and it was, as soon as you walk in, he would be like, "You're late."
Like, well, and what? I mean, no offense, how do you make refried beans look pretty?
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's kind of like gourmet barbecue. I'm like, no, it came from a really, really kind of from where it came from. Good things don't necessarily have to come from rich food, guys. Sometimes, like, barbecue came from like the poorest parts of the pig, the worst type of molasses, the worst type of sugar, and they ended up creating something beautiful out of it. Same thing, like like they didn't have bread, dude. They just had freaking masa to make tortillas, all right? And then they made awesome tacos with it. That's a freaking awesome thing that they did. But I don't know. I was talking with my cousin way back, and like if we were gonna have an authentic family Mexican family restaurant, there's like an old guy who's gonna be like everybody's dad, and as soon as you walk in, he's like, "You're late." Like,
there's a old chef
I meant to call. Yeah, I know you did. Go say hi to your mother. You know, like, great. We have a table for 4. What? What was that? Oh, sorry. I'll go see it myself. Make sure you bust the table first. Don't fuck it up next time. You know, it just be this completely abusive thing.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's culture too. I mean, with the Japanese culture, you know, and the way it used to be, I don't know if it still is, but everything that you're passionate about in life, you perfect.
Yeah.
You know? So, and let's face it, Hispanic food, and I actually have an old chef that I worked with years ago, and he's changed his focus to Hispanic food. You know, and it kind of looks great. You know, it looks like a lot of flavors, whatever else. But like he had this taco, I don't know what he charged it. You know, he's classically trained chef. He's really good at what he does, actually, and he makes it look pretty, whatever else. But he had like 38 flavors on this little 6-inch fucking taco, and it's like, dude, it's a taco.
It just, the meat's got to have flavor. The machaca's got to be good. You know, like it's
like I think he made like a 8-day moly sauce. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You're putting all that time and energy, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure it tasted good.
Maybe they're trying to find something, trying to like, hey, like maybe if I treat this like Indian food, where most of the stuff you have to start a day in advance.
Well,
before you're gonna make. Maybe that's what he's trying to go for.
Americanized Indian food, most places you go, I'm sorry, it's a soupy fucking bowl of mess.
Yeah, I kind of like out here. I haven't not been, and sorry, my apologies to any of the Indian cuisine restaurants in Denver, but maybe it's because you guys are so close to the white people of the Midwest. But you guys toned down your spices big time. When I went back to Arizona back in November, there was this one Indian food restaurant that me and Jenny love going to. And if they ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, how hot do you want it, and you only want it a little spicy, you say 1. All right, because
I like spice. I can take 10.
Yeah, they'll still have you sign a release for it because they're like, they're gonna have it like, you want fall? Okay, all right, but the it's out here. Some of it, where I'm like tikka masala is one of my favorite dishes.
Right,
it's like that's like the starter type, sauce.
Yeah,
and
but I mean that's very Americanized.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's pretty weird when last time I went to an Indian food restaurant, I was looked at Jenny. I'm like, I can make a better sauce than this, right? She's like, I know you can. I'm like, all right.
Well, and some of that might be the problem. We Americanize everything. I don't care if it's Japanese, Chinese, even Italian. I mean, come on, man. You go to Italy, ask for a slice of pizza.
They're like, fuck you. Like, what?
It's bread with cheese and sauce. That's their, appetizer.
Yeah. Well, do you want a bruschetta? No, a pizza. The bruschetta, right?
I mean, Hispanic food, same way. You go to Mexico, get true dishes. Anywhere in the States. I mean, it's not the same, man. I've worked with so many Hispanic people throughout the years, and the stuff that we make in the back of the house is nothing like you're going to find in a restaurant. The Italian people I've grew up with, the stuff grandma or mama was making compared to a restaurant is...
Can't touch it.
Nothing.
No, I mean, one, because there's a love for the food, right?
Well,
on top of that, I was contemplating the other day, I'm like, I haven't made pizza in a long time. And I haven't made pizza sauce in an even longer time. So I think I might have to start looking into that again.
I mean, good sauce is 2-3 days.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to actually kind of perfect, make a really, really good sauce.
Yeah,
so
freeze it, whatever else, it works.
Exactly.
But, I mean, we Americanize all this shit. It's crazy, dude. Just bring it over the way it is. And look, I had this one Asian restaurant I used to love going to. The owner saw me coming in. They'd go make me something that wasn't on the menu. They knew I fucking ate everything. They would bring me out this dish and compared that dish to what's on their menu. Bro, there's no comparison. None. And it's like that, even, when Mama makes enchiladas compared to the restaurant, come on, man. There's got to be a difference.
Well, there's a difference when I make them, but I'm a better cook than my mom is.
Oh, wow.
That's right, Mom. I said it. No.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a time that she probably would have
switch when you see her.
Yeah, well, yeah. I can hear the chocolate friggin' flying from Gomez right now. She's had my cooking before, though, so she knows that I actually know how to cook.
Wow. Okay.
So that was one of those things where I remember, because when my dad tried to cook, everything just came out burnt. It tasted good, but it looked like burnt, and it looked like you might die if you ate it.
Wow.
And she's like, "Jermaine, man, cannot cook." And I'm like, "Okay, hold on, it's better." One momento. Okay, check it out. Hey, where'd you get this sauce? I made it. Where'd you get this? I made it.
In the back of her head, she's going, "Shit, you bought that at the store."
Yeah, I'm like, "No, mira, look at the ingredients, mama." So yeah, no, she gets it. I've been working in restaurants, Mom, for 20 years.
Yeah.
It would be really shitty if I didn't know how to cook, right? But it was one of those things. There's a couple of ideas that we'll talk about off air as far as about what we want to do with the show. Not every show that we do is going to be live, I don't think. But we're going to try to focus a little bit more. At this point, this is a weird thing, is that I'm trying to figure out how to spend all my time during the week. So, I have the rideshare stuff that goes on. There's comedy, which, by the way, March 1st at Blush and Blue. Check it out, guys. Be there. 1537 Colfax. There's gigs and stuff that I'm doing out of town for comedy. But when it comes to the food biz, this podcast and stuff, there's
What direction?
What directions do I want to go? And so, I'm trying to decide right now is, do I want another job in a restaurant? Do I want another front of house job? I know I don't want a manager job. What got all this knowledge? What are we going to do with it? One of the things that we kind of touched on a little bit earlier, and this is just off the top of my head, was talking about leadership. I know there's got to be leadership consultants or trainers out there, but
I think for a lot of other businesses, not so much for the restaurant industry.
That's kind of what.
Unless you do the corporate thing and you become one of their trainers.
There's got to be a consulting aspect where I'm like, listen, I get one free assault on anybody in here.
And that's why so many corporate places do the yearly meetings, and they have a motivational speaker come in or whatever else.
Which lasts all of 3 days until they go back to the unit. I'm like, oh, I forgot it sucks here. Oh.
3 days of being drunk.
Yep, that's usually what happens. Hey, which manager is going to hook up with the other manager? It's pretty sad. But
not always a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know who gets the drunk, the most drunk out of any one of those parties? And I've heard this from a couple different people in different companies. Is the HR manager. The HR manager is so pent up.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Couple HR managers, they didn't. They showed up for the classes. Then when it was done and over with, they were history.
Yeah,
they were gone. You never saw them.
Yeah.
So they might be getting torn up, but somewhere else.
It could be. Maybe that's it. I heard it was the one restaurant that I worked for a while back and stuff it's a good thing you were there. The HR manager, she was flirting with everybody. She was drunk. I'm like, wow, that's bizarre.
It's a good time.
Yeah, good time. Yeah, it's
syphilis. Chlamydia is a soup.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it would be an interesting idea if, we get more views on these podcasts or on these shows after they've aired. So, by the way, if you go to DisJointed, oh, Jesus Christ. Here, let me put up the...
He forgot his own thing.
Yes.
Yep, smoke another dope.
No, exactly. No, I was going to say, if you guys like the contact information that we have here, we get more more listens and stuff like that after the fact. So
right.
If you didn't catch us live, that's not a big thing. But if you follow us on Twitter at DFB Pod, DisJointed Food Biz Pod, or email us at thedfbpod@gmail. Have any questions and stuff about that, man? I think there's a lot of benefit that we could probably do for folks who are for like just owners and managers who are having a rough time transitioning to how this business goes, or transitioning from being an hourly to a manager, or or even for a small time owner, man, where it's just like, I can't get this shit to work. Like, what am I doing wrong here? And that would be, I'll just speak for myself. I don't want to speak for you. I would be more than happy to try to help, but understand that you're probably not going to like about 98% of what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, that's normally how it rolls.
And I'll try to be as calm about it as possible, unless, like, listen, you can't be coked up and drunk every goddamn day, all right? That's for special occasions. You don't let your employees see you that way, dipshit.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, I mean, like David was saying, questions, comments, concerns. We have 60 years of experience on all sides of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what type of business, whatever else, throw it out there. Maybe we take it to restaurants. Maybe we go to food shows. Maybe we start showing different aspects of it.
We're definitely planning on hitting up the grand opening for the In-N-Out Burger in Colorado Springs. That's going to be pretty interesting. We just got to figure out the best way to film it and stuff and record it.
It's really the only fast food I support.
Yeah.
But questions like the websites that we follow, hit us up on the page, whatever else, people asking, how should I give salaries? What are bonuses?
Why should I pay somebody for something I can get for cheaper?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, so I've tried to share that link on that page for the show a couple times.
Doesn't do it?
The guy won't ever approve it. I've seen other links for other people.
Maybe I'll try it.
Or, maybe I ought to put it in the comments. I'll just start sneaking it in there. Yeah, I'll be like, here you go. As a matter of fact, we talk about this on this week's episode. Here you go.
But, employment issues, if you're an hourly, how do you grow? How do you get there? Fine-tuning your own skills. I mean, that's
a big thing, too, because I've heard some, like if you're, especially like in your 20s, man, you're like, how come my boss is always, how come managers are always assholes? Like, well, there's probably a reason. Maybe it has something to do with the way you're working. And just, if you set your ego aside for a little bit and just be honest about what it is you're doing.
A lot of times it's going to be whether you're owner, operator, manager, hourly. A lot of it, you have to be able to self-reflect. You have to look in the mirror. If you're an hourly, start reading about your trade, reading about your skills, learn how to expand them and grow, learn how to change and face your fears. Reading books like The 1 Minute Manager, which is a phenomenal leadership book.
Yeah, by Ken Blanchard, right?
I think so. I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a whole
series though. There are books out there. There's serving technique books out there. There's YouTube videos out there.
Exactly. The Starbucks Experience. That's another book I would recommend.
Yeah, that's a good one,
especially for a small business owner, man, because that talks about how they became who they. I mean, up until they went public. What got them to that point. So. And Starbucks went out of their way to do a lot of things that other places would not be willing to do. So,
and still do.
Yeah.
Taking care of their employees, keeping the product right. Well, unless the employee fucks it up. But, I mean, that's why they're still growing. That's why they're still, continually to do good. Because even the drive-through window, let's face it, they're not like McDonald's. I would say they're probably, 98 to 100% accurate on their drive-through window, where McDonald's is 5% accurate,
right?
I mean,
and the only way, and they're usually pretty quick. The only time it ever takes a long time to get through a Starbucks drive-through is because there's an asshole that's got mommy and daddy issues that's trying to work it out through their fucking latte, and they're just being really difficult.
Half calf, skim milk, yeah, fuck all that.
Or what's even worse is the person who wants to get 8 drinks for their office, and instead of walking into the unit and they're going to try to go through the drive-through, thus gumming up everything.
Yeah, but that's where the people, common courtesy, humanity's dying.
Yeah, so, there's nothing you can't really do that. I guess with. That's really not up to the restaurant,
That's like
I guess.
calling ahead with a 20 top instead of just showing up.
Yeah,
Why?
exactly.
They got the space.
What?
Like,
You guys not here to make money? Is that it?
we keep this party room open just for you guys year round.
Luckily, I was just about to send some people home, but as a matter of fact, I already cut them. Let me go back and tell them that they're not cut
Not
anymore.
like they're on 16-hour doubles. You
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
Clopins, gotta love it, guys.
Oh, jeez.
Anything else you think you wanna?
As far as just the little plugs and stuff that I got, like I said, guys, this Thursday I'm going to be at the Blush and Blue doing stand-up comedy, not talking about the restaurants and stuff. That's a free show. Starts at 7:30 at Capital Hilarity. Once again, 1537 West Colfax. It's right next to Voodoo Donuts, and so that's got that.
Voodoo Donuts is next to them.
Yep. Totally missed that
Oh,
one.
there are other stores on the other. Never mind. I was thinking it was like Liberty or something.
Oh.
The other one.
Let's see what else.
Sorry, guys.
The next show that I have isn't going to be up till the summertime. So, but I will tell you that if you go to Kickstarter and look up Crit Hit 3, there's still time to get some of awesome rewards and stuff like that. If you want to be a part of Crit Hit 3, it's an Arizona gaming retreat this summer in Phoenix. If you live in Phoenix and you even got a little bit of geek in you. Let's be honest. There's nothing else to do in that town in July, so hit that up.
Sweat.
There's gonna be an awesome comedy show, awesome tabletop gaming, card games, RPGs. It's a way to kind of get away and be around like-minded people and just have a blast. And other than that,
yeah, I have nothing going on because I work 12 to 16-hour days in a restaurant.
So, man, we gotta really make something out of this because I think it's painfully obvious that neither of us want to be doing what we're doing. But at the same time, we both have awesome wives, and we don't want to. I don't want to just tell Jenny like, listen, I think I don't want to work anymore. Wait, honey, where are you
really
going?
Wants to work anymore, right? Yeah, honey.
You know what? I take that back. It's not that I don't want to work anymore. I just don't want a job anymore.
No, that's not true, because if you had a career, you wouldn't want that anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Fuck it.
Point is that I'm clocking out.
It's time to roll, clocking out, food's out, time to clean up, close
Exactly.
this
We'll close this fucker down. We're lucky the bar will be open for 10 minutes so we can bug them.
Have a good one, guys. Until next time.
Catch you, ladies.